windy day, eh? We're gonna start a fire here and then work on a Selfbow. I got this pretty cool looking lightsaber lighter. If it would go on me here. It's got a red flame. It's nuts, dude. Got the fire going now. Oh, you guys can't even see the fire. Well, it's over there in the bowl. Got to get a better setup here. What's going on, y'all? Gonna be working on a Selfbow. There's the bow. It's about 71 or 72 inches long. And got most of it done, as you can see. It's pretty close to finished. So we're gonna do a process called tillering, which is where you bend the limbs like this. And you see how they're bending. And if one's stiffer than the other, you scrape material off and get it bending evenly. And you do that by taking a thin piece of stainless steel like this, called a card scraper. And you scrape that wood, if I can find a burr. And you scrape that wood like this, and it removes very thin strips of wood. It's a slow process, but hey, it makes a good product in the end. Got a nice fire going though. We got some sushi as well. I'll be eating that. See if I can get a better setup for the camera here. Where do I set the camera? There, I'll set it right there. Why not? What difference does it make, right? Might as well have a piece of sushi as well. Gotta remember how to use chopsticks. Oh, now I'm getting wood shavings in my sushi. I gotta figure this out. This is bobbish. Where can I set the camera? I have a table over there. Maybe I could use that. Hold on. Moment mal, bitte. I'll prop it up on a piece of wood. Oh, but you can't see the nice campfire. There we go. Dang it. Bear with me here. All right, there we're good. And then a gust of wind will blow it down, almost guaranteed. Sushi and a campfire. What more could a guy want? Gotta keep the limbs out of the fire too. This is difficult. Going live is difficult because you gotta talk to yourself, you know? And you gotta entertain the audience so they don't leave the live. So much going on. I'm gonna switch card scrapers. This is a thicker piece of steel. I think I want a thinner piece of steel. Flexes a little bit more. German stainless, you can't go wrong. Oh, unless you drop them, I guess. I think they're Kunz, made in Germany. This is a really cool scraper. This is one, it's called a cabinet scraper, I think. It's used for doing the edges of stuff and inside curves. Very useful for working around the handle section, areas like this. That is smoky. That is really smoky. Let me use this one. I really got to reburr these. And I'm still gonna get wood shavings in the sushi. This is unbelievable. It's really thick right here. I need to focus on this area. There's a lot of ridges I gotta take out. Keep hitting my jacket. Let's lose the jacket then. The Carhartt. All right, there we are. Stoke the fire a little bit. It's like it's smoke in my face. Of course. It's like the wind changes direction every time I do something to avoid it, but hey, that's the nature of the universe, isn't it? What's up? What's going on in the chat here? Keep going? I am, dude. Last time I tried to make a bow, it snapped in my hands. Oh, man. I've had that happen on, how many occasions? I've had splinters pop up at least twice, and I've had a bow explode in my hands once. Actually, that first bow is somewhere around here. My dad used it as he uses it as a fire poker now. That was like, what, 4 years ago? 5 years ago? Something like that. You coming out with any new videos? Yeah, actually, I have a lot of I have a lot of footage that I haven't even edited yet, so got to get that stuff done. I'm a procrastinator. You know, I love doing this YouTube thing, but editing a video, I don't think most viewers understand how much work goes into the videos I make. First, I have to go out and find stuff, first of all. Walking like 20 miles of video sometimes more, sometimes less. And then you gotta get all the clips and shorten them and edit them correctly so that, you know, it retains people's attention. And yeah, it's just a lot of work. I really like doing it though, don't get me wrong. And I'm planning on doing a VHS style video. So we're gonna I have 2 VHS cameras. One's like the big 80s, you know, shoulder camera. And then I have a handy cam from like the late 90s. And me and my buddies Jake, JMR Spartan on YouTube, and Keystone Relics, Trevor, we're gonna go do a VHS style vlog, kind of arrowhead hunt over in northeastern PA or something like that. We don't really know yet, but should be really fun. I gotta be careful while I'm talking. One time I was talking to somebody on FaceTime and working on a bow, and I scraped too much off, and then the bow developed what's called a hinge, which is where you scrape off too much material, and then the bow bends like that where you don't want it to. And yeah, that bow broke. I was working on that bow for well over a year. Oh my Lord, thank you for the donation, man. Appreciate that, Aiden. What did the chat say? The Iceman. You still join the military? Oh yeah, man. They're gonna chop that right off. The 2-guard buzz. Yes, sir. I will miss the hair, but hey, once I'm out, probably grow it back. Even longer this time. Man, at one point, I think it was down to here. And I went live one time. People were like, "Are you a girl or a boy?" Some of these people on here are nuts, man. They're funny. I get a lot of weird comments too. A lot of weird comments. I like messing with people. Love messing with people in the comment section. Oh, smoke in my eyes. My eyes get bloodshot. I wasn't smoking weed. I'm just sitting by the campfire. I'll have you know. There's the limb so far. Yeah, it's insane, dude. People are nuts. Now, right now, what I'm doing is I'm feeling for any, you know, thickness, anything that's feeling off. Right here, you can see the backside kind of has a dip in it, so I need to put a dip there. But what really matters is how it bends. Hold on. It's gonna look weird. Right now I can feel the left side is bending a little bit more, so I should keep working on this limb. Then I'll go to floor tillering after I kind of feel it out. And then after floor tillering, I'll put on my tiller tree, which is a big post I have in my garage, and it has a pulley system on it. And you attach your string and then the hook with the pulley system, and you stand back and you pull a string and it bends the limbs for you. And you can step back and really look at how they're bending. This is gonna be a great bow though. Extremely excited to finish it. Let's have a piece of sushi, whoa. Let's have a piece of sushi, shall we? Yeah, English, am I right? Let's get some wasabi in there. Wasabi. Wasabi. Oh yeah. I got sauce on my hand. What's a good wood for bow making? There's a lot of good woods for bow making. The most favored, I would say, by the Comanche was Osage orange. It grew a lot in the west and the south. Even it grows up in Pennsylvania. I don't think as frequently. The best bow wood nowadays, people love Osage orange. The Apaches really liked mulberry. The natives here in Pennsylvania, where I'm at, probably used a lot of oak. And what else would they have used? Black locust too. Black locust is a good bow wood. The only issue is with Osage orange and black locust, They aren't what's called a whitewood, like maple. Maple's a whitewood, meaning you can't take the bark off and use that as the back of your bow. With Osage orange and mulberry and black locust, you have to do what's called chasing a ring, where you take, so let's say you got the sapwood on the outside. This is the outside of the tree. The sapwood is layered like that high above it, and you have to cut all that off and then find one individual growth ring to follow all the way through the back. But with whitewoods like hickory and, oh my gosh, I'm tearing up from the smoke. Whoa. Anyways, gotta get back on track. With whitewoods like hickory and maple and oak, you can just take off the bark and use that as your back. Because the sapwood and the heartwood have different qualities. But with whitewoods, the sapwood and heartwood are similar, I guess you could say. The sapwood on maple and hickory is very tension strong, whereas the sapwood on black locust and Osage orange is not, which is why you have to chase down to the heartwood. Hopefully that made some sense. I do a lot of rambling. Looking pretty fine. I can even see it shining in the light. Dude, the smoke. Hold on. I gotta take care of this smoke. I can't anymore. Can't do it. Get some flames rolling. I'm gonna make a fan out of this box. The man in the box. I like Alice in Chains. I'm a big Chains fan. There we go. That should take care of the smoke for a little bit, for a short while. Won't you drown me? Save me. Where did I put my card scraper? Where in the world is the card scraper? Oh, card scraper. Where art thou hiding? Oh, you know it's right here. I sat on it. Silly me. Let's have another piece of sushi. Shall we? Sushi, shall we? Shall we? Sushi, yeah. 10 out of 10. Dude, the most common bow wood I see growing on the side of the roads is black locust. It grows everywhere. You gotta chase a ring on it, but when you do, and you don't violate the growth rings, such a good bow wood. It's springy, it's quick. You're gonna wanna do a pretty narrow profile with the bow. Well, I guess that depends on the crown. If you use a smaller sapling, you'll probably want it to be wider to compensate for all the tensions on the back there. But if you're making a longer bow with an older tree, I would go narrow. That's just what I've read on bow forums. I'm speaking a little bit from experience, but I've only made one black locust bow. I've made 3 hickory, 1 ash. This will be my 3rd maple. I love sugar maple.
Hey, bud.
Hey, what's up?
Did you put the taco stuff in the microwave?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, it's still in there.
Got it. I left the tacos in the microwave. And, yeah. Oh, well. Tacos in the microwave. I should have eaten the tacos in the microwave, but I forgot. Whoa! Oh my gosh. Hey, get over here. Oh, this dog's gonna be barking, man. Oh my lord. Hey. I don't even know what he's barking at. Otter. He's upset at something. Screw it, we ball. This live just turned so chaotic in like 5 seconds. Hey, you want a piece of sushi? Come here. Otter, what's this? What's this? Otter. Otter. Alright, he is not. Alright, whatever. Otter, you're ruining my live, dude. This dog, man. All right, I'm gonna work on the other limb of the bow now. Oh my gosh, I got smoke in my eyes. Dude, this dog. Hey. So chaotic. For what? Wait, was I working on this limb or the other limb? It was this one. I'm gonna have to bring him inside. I am very sorry, guys. I'll be right back. He's barking at the neighbor's dog. Get in here. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Where's your cause? Let's go get a treat. Let's go get a treat. Come on. Let's go. Don't. Now he's grabbing the paper. Give me that paper. Come here. Now you're just gonna see me chasing my dog all over the yard. Let's go inside. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Well, that's taken care of now that we lost all of our viewers. I got this Atlatl. I made this thing, I don't know, probably 8 months ago. Yeah, about 8 months ago, I'd say. If you don't know what an Atlatl is, it's an extension of the human arm. And it's an ancient weapon with a hook on it. And this is my Atlatl dart. And man, you could send this thing straight through an elk. Let me do a little demo. There's a little deer target right about there. Let's see if I can hit it. Very, very close range. I hit it in the butt. That would not be a clean kill. I gotta work on that. Back to the bow. Back to the bow. If you guys are just joining the live, it was nuts, man. My dad came outside. He was like, "You left tacos in the microwave." And then my dog came out and started barking at the other dog. And I had to get him inside. Oh, it was nuts. All right, we're back on track. It's pretty thick right here. And I'm seeing a lot of thickness at this spot. So I'm gonna take some off there as well. I'm gonna die of smoke inhalation if this fire doesn't move where it's blowing its smoke. I'm gonna barehandedly grab the logs that are burning. I got hot hands, it's all good. I have successfully redirected the smoke. What kind of wood? Oh, this is sugar maple. Really great, really great bow wood. If you're thinking of making a bow out of sugar maple, I would definitely do it. It's worth it. Sorry I didn't see your message. I don't even know if you're still on the live. Piece of sushi. It's sushi time. A little bit of wasabi again. Just a tiny bit. If I could grab it. Oh boy, I was not raised Japanese. Oh, I got some on my face, I think. It's all right. Yeah, it's really thick in the middle there. I'm aiming for about minimum 45-pound draw, but 55 to 50 would be pretty sweet. But so far, man, she's about 90% done. Still got a lot of tillering to do though. A lot of tillering. Ooh, that was loud. Now the wind's changing direction. I'm getting smoke in my face. I should not have had a fire. I should not have had a fire. I do enjoy it though, not gonna lie. I'm taking off too much material here. You can even see it in the rings. See where you see a lot of good taper in the rings there, and then boom, and it goes back up to the rings again, which means this is probably gonna hinge if I don't take care of it. How long have I been working on that one? I've been working on this bow probably about, I wanna say 4 months maybe. 4 to 5 months. I work on it here and there. I always have trouble figuring out the transition between the handle and the limbs, because a lot of people like it what's called a pyramid style, and I always end up squaring it off a little bit. And I don't mean to do that. That's just when I'm working on it, I'll scrape wood off in that area. That's something I want to work on not squaring off the limbs. This isn't a true pyramid style though, because a pyramid style would be very wide right here, and it would be a slow taper off. This right here is straight. It's got straight limbs, and at this point, that's when the taper comes in. But it's based off of a native style, and then it also has a little bit of kind of modern aspects to it with the handle. Let's do a bend test. Let's do a little floor tiller. See how we're doing limb-wise. I'm just gonna put my hand in the middle here and look straight down, and that'll tell me how the limb's bending, and it's not bending too much on the outside on this part. It's bending a lot here though, which is good. Gotta get this fire rolling again. How's it going? Let's do one more tiller check on that limb. Hand's gonna be up here, hand in the center at the handle. Push. It's not as bad as I initially thought. Let's do the other side. This limb is definitely bending a lot more in the center. It's very stiff on the outside limb right here on this side. You're in the hospital with a broken hip and leg. Oh, Daryl, I hope you get better, man. You don't have mean friends that all they like to make fun. Why do they make fun of you, dude? Sorry to hear about your hip and leg, though. Hope you feel better soon. Oh man. All right, I'm gonna take material off here with the scraper because it is a little stiff there. We'll do another 25 to 50 scrapes. I actually wasn't counting. If any of you were counting, let me know, because I forgot what number I was on. It's probably something like 20. We'll call it 20. and we'll go 30 scrapes. They say ADHD is a superpower. Sometimes. Sushi time. Wasabi. If I had to choose one food I could only eat for the rest of my life, it'd probably be sushi, if I'm being honest. It's just got a lot of sodium. Either sushi or a good Mexican burrito. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I'm praying for you. Hopefully you enjoy the live though. If this can make your day a little better, I've done my job. Can you keep me a promise with your laces and your boots or sneakers, please? Sure, I can do that. All right. Tips are pretty thin now. I should stop working on those and do a tiller check. It's been a little better now on that limb. Because remember, this part of the limb right here was the stiff outside, so we took some material off. And now we're spot on. This limb is going to be the most difficult to tiller for me because it has this bump. I don't know if you can see that well, but it bumps up right here. And there are these tiny little, not even pin knots, they're just, the tree grew kind of weird in that area. Sushi time. I'm going to throw some soy sauce on this one. Perfect. That smoke is really getting to me. I'm not crying. Only got 2 pieces left. This thing is gonna be so fun to shoot. I think I want to do an elliptical tiller. It's actually not my choice. I think that's how I have to design it to be the most efficient. You can see the limbs bending just a little bit here. Absolutely cannot wait. This handle's been interesting too, because on the stave when I split it, right down on the center line right here, there was almost no wood to work with, and I somehow managed to get a decent handle out of it. And it's funny because when this bow is finished, you won't even be able to tell how difficult it was to get that handle. It just looks like a normal handle to you. Got wood shavings all over me. The wind's going this way. I don't want any of the wood shavings to go into my precious sushi roll. I just ate smoke there again. Oh my gosh. Me and the campfire have beef. There comes the smoke again. Maybe if I sit lower, it won't get to me as bad. Pardon me. What's going on in the chat? Still rocking with the Hardwood Brothers display case. Thinking about getting a couple for Christmas. Oh yeah. Haven't done any collabs or anything with them recently. No sponsorship deals, but I do highly recommend their cases. They're pretty sweet. Good foam, excellent craftsmanship. I promise you, Daryl. I promise you, man. But yeah, if you're looking for some display cases for your artifacts and arrowheads and stuff like that you find, dude, Hardwood Brothers is where it's at. My favorite part about doing this whole Selfbow thing is getting a handle. Carving that handle down to fit so snugly in your hand. Because when you're shooting a Selfbow, you don't squeeze it like this, like most people think. You actually want to be holding it like this. And a lot of that pressure rests in the webbing of your hand, almost. So you don't want to be gripping it up like that. You want to kind of just let it rest, and then when you pull the bow back, that's what holds it in your hand. Every single time that wind changes, man, it's smoking my face. Better get used to it, though. I'm going camping tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like my channel, too. Great community of people. Awesome. It's awesome talking to other dudes with channels, too. They're great people. I've been recognized in public 3 times. People come up and they were like, "Are you East Coast Lithics?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I am." It's really cool. All right, before I scrape too much wood off, we'll do another tiller check. Oh, this is gonna be a sweet bow. I'm very excited. I've said that before, but I'll say it again. Get out of my face. Not too shabby. The light just reflects off the wood. Is that showing for you guys? Probably not. I can see it at least. Anyone with a traditional bow is all right by me. Yes, sir. I'm there with you. Excuse me. It's all that smoke, man. I should not have had a fire on live. What made me think that was a good idea? Especially on a windy day. Yeah, shooting traditional is really, really fun. It's like the rawest form of archery you can get, and it's so difficult to get consistent placement because any tiny change where your hand is or any draw length change or your release. I mean, that goes for most archery, but especially this. You're shooting with a piece of wood with no sights, nothing like that. And especially if you don't have knocking points. I think about the natives a lot of the time. They were able to hit freaking pine cones out of the air with their bows. They didn't have knocking points. They kind of felt it out, and that's how it was. It's interesting to see how all the different bows I've made, with all the different densities and rings and sorry about that. With all the different densities and of the rings and stuff. Oh my gosh, this kid. They have a leaf pile and a plastic car that they're running down the hill into the leaf pile. Anyways, what I was saying was, oh my gosh, let me get back on track. It's interesting to see the thickness of the limbs and how every single bow can have the same draw weight, but your limb thickness and all that, it's completely different. And you know, you can make a bow that's the same width, but it all comes down to the rings and density of the wood and all that. I can really, you know, in my head, I know what I want to say, and then it just kind of spills out, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Manchmal ist durchgeklingt. That's right, I speak German. German's a fun language. Yeah, man, camping is the best. Camping is awesome. Slingshots are awesome. I had a slingshot for a minute. Actually, when I was camping at this spot that I'm going to tomorrow, we forded the small river there, and we placed a soda can out on the rock, and then we went back to the site we were camping at, and we spent like 2.5 days just shooting rocks at this thing, and it took us, oh, I don't even know. It took us at least 500 rocks each to get a couple clinks on that can. But we got it. It was a good time. Me and a couple guys just shooting slingshots at cans. What more do you need? All right, tiller time. This is going to be a quick and easy process. This bow is going to be a lot easier to tiller than my last one. Whoa, because it doesn't have all these weird knots in it. Sorry, the bow slipped on a piece of stone. That was scary. It wasn't scary, it was surprising. It's out of nowhere. It's going to be awesome to get this handle down to work too. Carving that down. It's got some weird asymmetry going on here, but we'll take care of that coming up. I want a piece of sushi now. I think it's time. Why not do a whole chunk of wasabi? Look at that. Look at that thing. We're doing it all. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Sorry about the lawnmower noises. People gotta mow the lawn, I guess. I mean, the leaves are off the trees and you're mowing the lawn. I'm not a lawn guy. They'd probably know better than I am. They know better than I do. Yeah, English. I should go live in the woods or something, because then I wouldn't have all the lawnmower noises, the traffic, the kids running plastic cars into leaf piles, the dog barking. It would make the experience a little bit nicer, but you make do, because I don't have a hotspot that I could carry around. The connection would be terrible, so I guess it's a trade-off. fire. I got so much smoke in my eyes today, people are probably gonna be like, oh, he's crying on live. Sorry about the scraper chatter. Happens when I go back down and I have it angled like this and it just kind of skips 1,000 times a second. It makes that annoying screeching noise. I think they call it blade chatter. Or maybe just chatter. I'm probably overthinking the term. Chat, talk to me. I got nothing else to say. Now it's smoking again. Last piece of sushi down the hatch. And we'll clear it up with some ginger. I used all the wasabi on the last one. That last hit of wasabi got to me, I will say that. What's the biggest arrowhead I ever found? Oh. So, the biggest artifact I've ever found was probably about this big. Now, it's not a projectile point or a knife. It was like a quarried, core in North Carolina. It was in a river, and it was a huge chunk of blue rhyolite, and it had all these giant spalls taken off of it. They would take hammerstones and they just throw the hammerstone at the core, and it would knock off the spalls about this big. And that thing was about this big. Now, finished artifact, like tool-wise, probably about that big. I found 4 of them. Those are laying in a lake bed. You can check out that video. It's a long form from probably almost 2 years ago now. Just about 2 years ago. I found it on Thanksgiving Day. And there were 4 of them just sitting there next to each other in the lake bed. Unbelievable. And that was, I think it's still one of my biggest videos to date besides the how to arrowhead hunt one. Yeah, man, I can imagine. I wouldn't like being in the hospital either. Are there any windows in your hospital room? It's messed up that hospitals don't have windows anymore. You know, sunlight therapy used to be a really big thing in the past, but then they took windows out of hospitals. The tree, yeah, the stump of providence. You got it, man. That's exactly it. I was there in my recent North Carolina video, and we were still, me and Georgia Points, dude, we were still pulling stuff out of there. I think I found a Guilford. Yeah, I found a Guilford round base. It was broken. It was about that big though. And that was right around the same little square where I found another Guilford and another Guilford, and then like 3 Randolphs, which are 200 years old, you know, really recent points. And then we also found the video before that in North Carolina at the Stump of Providence. We found a Kirk corner notch. It was all busted up though, like it was almost unidentifiable. It still had most of the base there. You could tell there were corner notches in it. And it was super thin, and it had that archaic kind of flaking to it. So we know it was a Kirk. Might have been serrated, I forget. It was slightly serrated. It's hard to remember because I find so many of them in the same area. I'm covered in wood shavings. Pardon me again. Now these limbs here have a slight bit of reflex. So instead of bending kind of that way towards me if I'm holding it, they're actually bending away from me like this, which is nice because that'll increase the efficiency of the bow. It'll be a little bit quicker, but it also puts a lot more stress on this area of the limb on the back. So give and take, I guess. It's natural, which is pretty interesting, meaning the tree, when it was growing, was probably getting hit by wind from this side that caused it to lean that way. See how we're looking on the tiller here. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Getting smoked out. All right, this limb is definitely bending a lot more in this area. So I need to scrape some wood off right here. Let's get her done. Darren, are the nurses being nice to you? Hope they're treating you well. What kind of bow are you making? I'm making a stagnant handle sugar maple Selfbow. It's about 72 inches long. It's not quite a pyramid. It's not quite a pyramid bow, but it has a straight side up until the last about 14 inches or so, and then it tapers off to the tips at about, I don't know, ½ inch. I think those are ½ inch tips. But it's inspired by the stagnant handle native Selfbows that I've seen, except I'm putting a little bit of an indent here in the handle. I'm sure they did that too. Still looking a little stiff in this area. Something I often do with Selfbows unintentionally is I leave the tips really thick, and I got to work on that because that slows down my arrows. Think about trying to move a big bunch of mass at the end of a lever compared to a little to no mass. It's going to make a huge difference. My belt. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. This is honestly, it's probably my 10th bow, I want to say. Probably 10th bow. get in the habit of not checking my tillering, especially towards the end. I'll get carried away with the scraping, and that really affects the quality of the bow, because I'll have to fix it and it loses a lot of draw weight. This one's still bending a little bit more than this one. This is the stiffer limb. So overall, I'm gonna scrape the whole length. Dude, I can't do the smoke, man. Anywhere I go. Oh. Now it's going straight up, as it should. Ah, fresh air. As soon as I move over here, it'll blow right in my dang face. When you're tilling with card scrapers, one thing you want to be very careful of is not to start in the same spot over and over and over, because that'll eventually put a little dent in your entire limb there. I've run into that issue a bunch, because I won't be paying attention and I just... What? How's it going, man?
We're making a house out of leaves.
You're making a house out of leaves?
Yeah, and a garage out of leaves.
That's cool, man. I'm gonna help you in a little bit. I'll be right there. They're making a house out of leaves. I remember doing that stuff. House out of leaves. Smoke in my eyes, sushi in my belly, a bow in my hand. Life is good. Except for the smoke, man. I just, ugh. Why? I'm watching. I'm watching. Whoa! He threw a stick at my dog. For my dog. Did you get the stick, Otter? Bring here. Bring here. Let me see that stick. Let me see that stick.